ashes to ashes.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be doing a massive news roundup. I have so many topics here to talk about. All of these have to do with Tekken, by the way, everything Tekken. Before we jump into the news though, I do want to say thank you to everyone. As I've been trying to cover news articles and trailers and all these things, you guys have been really supportive, and it's cool to look to the comment section and see you guys making jokes. I appreciate all the comments, not only the good ones, even the people I banned. I still want to say thank you for watching. You don't know that you're banned because you're shadow banned, but you are banned. But all jokes aside, thank you everyone for watching and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. This channel is going to be full throttle covering everything Tekken 8, from the small details to the massive ones. So hit that subscribe button. With that being said, let's start this video off. The first thing that I want to talk about, this tweet kind of had a big impact on my mindset. That's why I'm starting off with this one. But it's a tweet from King J. King J said, "Who did it better, Street Fighter or Tekken 8? And then someone responded and says, "It's not a competition. Both look good, and both games you're gonna be shit at." Now, not only is this hilarious, but also I think this makes a really good point. We often say this game versus that game, but it's obvious Street Fighter is focusing on its own things and Tekken is focusing on its own things. Both of these games can be great on their own. We don't need to butt heads. Like if you look at Twitter, everything is trending non-stop. Tekken 7, Kazuya, Jury, Street Fighter, Capcom, like all this stuff is trending at the same time. We really don't need to try and divide the FGC. This really should be a moment of celebration, no matter what fighting game you play. And I sort of came to this conclusion because of that tweet. The next one that I'm going to talk about, this one is directly related to the trailer. After watching the trailer a couple times, Landon D figured out where the song comes from. It says, "I knew I heard this song somewhere before. The song in the video sounds like a remix of Tekken 3 hidden character theme, and even synced up with the music in the trailer." I'm going to go ahead and play the clip because when I was watching this, I was nodding my head to the music. I'm like, okay, this is really good music. And it turns out that it's a remaster of Tekken 3. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for all of you guys who may not have realized this before. The next thing that I want to talk about, Tekken Cross Street Fighter. First off, I can't believe people still want that game. After dealing with Akuma and Geese Howard and Eliza, I can't believe people still want 2D characters in Tekken. That's a whole different story. The tweet says, "I think it's safe to assume that Tekken Cross Street Fighter is no longer happening. Last year, Harada said they were going to make it, but Tekken 7 did so well that they didn't see a reason to stop working on it and make a new game." And then sources is 2 tweets from Harada. I won't read these, but if you guys really care about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, then pause and read these because these are tweets from Harada directly addressing the whole situation.
Everything is lies. Everything is lies.
If we ever do get a Street Fighter Cross Tekken, it's going to be probably like a decade from now. Street Fighter 6 is going to do its thing. Tekken 8 is going to do its thing. Maybe at the end of it, probably, but who knows. The next news that I want to talk about, this one is really minor, but I know there's some people who like to buy merchandise and things of that sort, so I will show you guys this one. Basically what you have here is Harada is promoting some new t-shirt. Now he makes it very clear saying that he nor Bandai Namco will be profiting off of this. I think the person whose shirt this is JB Styles. For those of you who don't know who JB Styles is, that's the person who makes a lot of the panels, the concept art that we see for Tekken 7. JB Styles works on all of those. So if you want to support JB Styles or just buy a cool t-shirt, go to Harada's Twitter and purchase it. The next tweet that we're going to be talking about, this one was just very wholesome. A translation by Google from Japanese to English. It says, "At Tokyo Game Show, there was a fighting game trial platform called Omen of Sorrow. So when I tried to play it, I was asked, I'm Uchi, the publisher of this title. Do you have any experience with fighting games? This is the dev of Omen of Sorrow asking Harada if he has experience with fighting games. Harada says, I wasn't sure how to answer, but when I answered a little, he kindly taught me how to play the game, which made me happy. And this is just such a wholesome moment. This is what the FGC is about. You don't even know who this person is or whatever, but like you want to teach them, or you want to get them involved in your game and your scene and the whole, shebang. I just thought this was really wholesome and also funny because that person didn't know who Harada is, which you think they will, considering Tekken is one of the biggest games, but whatever. The next one, I know a lot of you will be interested in this. So everyone is aware of the whole Kazuma situation, right? I'll read you the tweet just in case you forgot. November 9th, 2020, this was said. Yakuza creator apprehensive about putting Kiri in fighting games. The quote says, fighting games generally have female characters, and personally, I don't really want to see them beating up women. The reason why I'm reading this tweet is because we have another one. This one is from The Bell, a great source to follow for all things gaming. It says, RGG studio head Yokoma hesitates to bring Yakuza to Switch due to its family-friendly image in Japan. The quote says, do we want to put a title like this where we're going to be around and picking fights with the world and doing all this Yakuza stuff on Switch? Yokoma further explains that the Yakuza franchise has an underground feeling to it that might not be appropriate. I think the underground feeling is what we want to do. There's another quote here. You guys can pause and read this if you want, but I just think it's ironic how Yakuza Kazuma is too hard to be on Switch, too tough, too violent to be on Switch, but yet he's too tame and he's too, oh no, I can't punch women, oh my god, and they won't put him in Tekken. It's like, make up your mind with this character. Do you want this character to be family friendly, or is this character a thug going around beating people up? If that's the case, put him in Tekken or Street Fighter. Everyone in the FGC wants this character, and going into this new console generation, they will be crazy not to bend a little bit, right? One of them, any game. Here's another interesting tweet from Harada. It all starts with the Street Fighter trailer. I'm not sure if a lot of you seen it, but there was a section in there where they were showing off some of their extreme modes, I think is what it's called. You had a few where it was like they were kicking a ball back and forth. You had another one where it was like metal rods and you had to stay away from it. It was a lot of interesting modes. But it turns out that the mode where you was kicking the ball back and forth is basically Tekken Ball from Tekken all those years ago. The tweet that Harada responds to says this: Dear Harada, it would appear that since Tekken 7 did not have Tekken Ball, Capcom decided to make their own version. Please make sure to confirm you're doing Tekken Ball for Tekken 8 as soon as you can. When you're talking about game modes, I never really experienced Tekken Ball, but I want Team Battle and I want Tekken Force. Everything else comes second. Those two for me is a necessity. But this is what Harada says about Tekken Ball. Everyone loves Tekken Balls. Why did he put the S? Why did he put the S at the end? Alright. When I was younger, I tried to make a juggle combo practice mode, and that game mode was the result. I was terribly depressed at the time. Still, it's interesting to aspire other titles like this. And this is kind of fascinating. Tekken Ball, when they were working on it, he wanted to make some kind of jungle combo practice mode. And I'm guessing this is something where you would like hit the ball in the air and practice your combos. But at the end of it, they created a new game mode. And that's kind of fascinating how development works. You start off doing one thing and you end with another. I know there was a few times during Tekken 7 lifespan, I won't go into the details, but there was a few times where Harada and Michael Murray, especially for characters, said they were starting off with this, and then of course the development it turned into that. Another response from Harada says, I was very depressed at the time. In other words, the mode I was originally trying to make became a completely different mode, Tekken Ball, due to failure. I was pessimistic about that. You guys comment down below which Tekken game had Tekken Ball. It's probably Tekken 4 or 5. I doubt 3, but maybe. I think it's going to be 4 or 5. But let me know which game exactly had Tekken Ball. But I think it's funny how like he's saying here how he was so upset that the game mode didn't work out the way that he intended. And everyone loved the disaster that he created. I don't know if they'll put beach ball into the base of the game. Like I said, team battle and Tekken Force probably will be a priority. But in season passes for Tekken 8, I think it's going to be a totally different experience for Tekken 7. Tekken 7, all we got was characters and team bowling and Tekken bowling. I think this time around when they do DLC, they're going to be a lot more creative with what they're doing, because like I said, most people are not really going to be just throwing money at characters anymore. A lot of people became a little bit more smarter with what they buy, and I think game modes and skins is a way they can loosen up people and get them to open their wallets, right? Another tweet from Harada says, well, anyway, after more than a quarter of a century, I understand that people like to put the ball and beach ball between the fighters. That's it. That's the conclusion he comes to. Moving on to the next topic. This was another really good tweet. This essentially means that all of the coming main games are available on Xbox, right? Street Fighter, Tekken, Strive, and King of Fighters. And the Xbox Series S, that's the little white one with the black circle on it, has a great track record at input lag and supports 120 refresh hertz. I take it over the PS5 tournament standards any time of day. Now the reason why I'm talking about this is because Tekken 8. Street Fighter 6 will be on PlayStation 4 and it will be on the old Xbox, but Tekken 8 will not. I was so surprised when I seen that, because how many of you guys have a PlayStation? I want to see how many people never even seen a PlayStation 5. Comment if you never even seen one. The fact that Tekken 8 isn't going to be on PlayStation 4 is going to be tough, because that's what a lot of people can get their hands on the game, you know? Here's why TOs would switch if they were. First off, PlayStation 5s are extremely rare, extremely. You can go into any store and buy an Xbox though, an S or an X. You can just walk in and buy one. And two, the price is so much cheaper, especially for the S, the little white one with the black circle. That's like half of the price for a PlayStation 5. So not only is it smaller, cheaper, but it's more available. Like the comment says, of course Sony will be able to supply their own tournaments with PlayStations, but what about smaller events like OBT, Tiger Upper? Unless the PlayStation becomes really available really fast over the next year, we might see Xbox win big, because how else are you going to run Tekken 8 if you don't switch? I think if they do announce this though, a lot of people probably will get upset. Like, I'm interested to see what the comment section says about this, because it's a problem and someone has to find a solution. Either more PlayStation 5s at a cheaper price, or it's time to go somewhere else. The final thing that I'll talk about, I know we're all focusing on Tekken 8, but don't miss what's coming up. Rev Major is literally like, by the time this video goes up, it's probably going to be like 24 hours, maybe 36 hours away. It's going to be like a day at most. I took a little peek at the bracket to see who the competition was, and boy oh boy, I know the Korea versus Pakistan rivalry is so fresh. A quick peek at the bracket shows you what we're in for. You have JDCR, Infested, Misstep, you have Anakin, Atif Butt is going there, you have Saint, you have UIU, UU, John Dean, Kokoma, Akuma, Osan, Dojin, Gin, Rangchu, AK. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but it's another Pakistani player who's a part of the Ashes team. I searched to see who else was going from Pakistan, any other Ashes members or Ashes or Arson Ash himself, but Arson Ash will not be there. You have two Pakistanis and you have a bunch of Japanese and a bunch of Korean players. This is what we wanted to see. Once the tournament ends, you guys know I'm going to be doing a breakdown, so definitely come back to the channel, because regardless of who wins, it's going to be a roasting. But that's going to be it. That's all of the Tekken news that I have for you. A bunch of different topics that I saw was really important, and also some that is just kind of relevant to where we're at today. Hopefully you found this video entertaining, at least informational, but that's going to be it. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.